to another episode of the Six Figure Vet podcast, where we showcase the success stories of Black and Brown veterans that have successfully unlaced the boots. Welcome to our show, y'all. So today is Women's History Month. Okay, let's get into it. And we are excited to introduce to you Alexandria Victoria, a visionary entrepreneur and celebrated hairstylist who is revolutionizing the beauty industry as the founder of ALX Beauty Collective. Hailing all the way from Brooklyn, New York, Alex discovered early on that beauty transcends mere appearances. It's about community, empowerment, and self-expression. Her passion led her to create a brand that not only excels in hairstyling, but also fosters an exclusive and uplifting environment for all of her clients. With a background that includes military service and rigorous training in beauty schools, Alex has transformed her dreams into a thriving business, baby. Let's get into it. In October 2020, she opened up ALX Beauty Lounge in the University Place, offering a diverse range of services from bridal styling to high-profile production work. Alexandria has collaborated with the renowned brands like Nike, Google, Olay, with a client roster that boasts iconic figures such as Miss Sha'Carri Richardson and Olympic champion Athing Mu. Believing that beauty is a powerful driver for change, Alex is dedicated to empowering the next generation of female entrepreneurs through mentorship and education. The Beauty Collective embodies her commitment to raising the bar for exclusivity and excellence in the Black and Brown beauty spaces. Join us as we explore how she has not only redefined beauty, but also is creating a legacy of empowerment and inspiring others to embrace their unique beauties. Let's give it up. Hi.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me today.
No, thank you for coming. We're excited to have you. And I always like to start off the episode with a mental health check-in. So, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm glad that you touched on that. Mental health is a really big part of my life, and just having that balance with, that professional health, and having a strong faith, that will help you navigate through any obstacles. So I'm excited for that. How about you?
You know what? It's good. So, we're shooting this episode, ladies and gentlemen, for Women's History Month, and I was super intentional about the women that I felt truly inspired by. Not just the cliche, like I'm a Beyonce stan, but I need somebody that I didn't touch before, that I didn't actually seen and experience their
Here.
growth firsthand, right? And so I think my mental health today is in a good space because I look around me and I see women that look like me excelling,
Mhm.
and I know that they've like gone through the fire and they're prospering in it, right? So that's just, I guess, my mental health. I'm inspired today. Does that count?
Yeah, it does count. It's a beautiful thing. That keeps me going. Like when I see people that started from where I started or a similar background, to see them just thriving and not allowing their situation to turn them to a statistic, but a success story like that. To me, I'm like, okay, let me keep going. I'm not the only person that's gone through this particular point in my life. So let's just continue to like show one another. I know we interact online, but that's just, we're able to just touch that person and make them reachable. So
Yes.
just having that opportunity, like I'm just amazed by it, and it just pushes me forward.
Yes. So you said, not becoming statistics and how easy it is to fall into your surroundings. Give us a little backstory about who you are. Give us a little backstory. Let us into the Brooklyn side.
All right. So yes, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. You already know. But yeah, growing up in Brooklyn, like I have an amazing mother. She is a pastor, and I'm grateful for her. She pushed me so hard, prayed for me throughout my entire life. But we do have our surroundings, our environment, where it's easy to be swayed in different directions, especially when, I didn't know who I was at the time. So struggling with that. And it's hard being a woman in Brooklyn, growing up in Brooklyn, going through school, trying to navigate like your identity, just trying to navigate who you are and dealing with the lifestyle. It's gritty out there. So
Yeah.
it it was easy to really kind of be boxed into that mindset.
Yeah.
And I knew like I just had to get out. People are dying, people are ending up in jail, and you have to be careful with who you hang out with, careful with what you surround yourself with, because you can end up being a casualty even if you're not in that situation. So
Yeah.
that's the environment that I grew up in. But I'm grateful that I come from a great family. But yeah, things happen.
Yeah, most definitely. So, what, how did being from Brooklyn help mold your vision for your brand?
Ooh. Being from Brooklyn, I think people from the East Coast, but especially New York, we have like a next level of just like hustle, and
Hustle.
it's so expensive. Okay. It's so expensive to even stay alive there. So the fact, like, I started working from the age of 14. And
What was you doing at 14?
14, listen, I was tutoring young kids, and then I got into, when I started my first job, I was at McDonald's. So I was tutoring till I was about 16. I worked at McDonald's, then Kmart. So I
Oh
was
yeah,
just
girl,
there,
you
and I
was,
was
yeah.
doing my little hair thing on the side and promoting things like that. I'm a social butterfly. So I was doing my little party promoting, and
Girl, not you a party promoter,
I was a
girl.
party promoter, okay? Listen, I was out there. I was outside. But
I know that's right.
yeah, I have like 4 or 5 jobs. And if I'm not careful, I'll probably do the same thing now. But my team, they're like, let's focus. Like, we got this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get into that because I feel like that's something else that entrepreneurs, especially women of color entrepreneurs, we really struggle with is like delegating. Like, girl, you need help. You need help. So I definitely later on in the show I want to get into like, okay, girl, when did you figure out you needed the help? And how did you actually say, okay, I'll allow myself to get some. But before we get there, okay, so you got these 10 jobs, you mentoring, you flipping burgers, honey, you doing promoting, you doing all of this stuff. What made you say, okay, I'm just gonna join somebody military? Because since you're already hustling, it's kind of easy, like you said, to fall into that pattern and to just keep it up. So
Mhm.
what made you say, okay, I need to join somebody's military, and what made you decide on the Navy?
Okay. So for one, I ain't really had no money like that, right? So I'm doing my little thing, but I didn't have the money to travel the way I wanted to. I've
Hmm.
always been inspired by traveling. That's my thing now. So I was like, okay, what can I do to be able to see the world, not pay for it? I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. And my initial dream was to become a firefighter, right? I wanted to do firefighting and own a salon on the side. Back then, being a hairstylist was not necessarily a well respected career path, right? They think like you don't know anything, you're not intelligent. Oh, I could curl some hair and then that's it. But I said, okay, if I join in, I have like a stable city job because I come from a line of doctors and nurses. Um,
Wow.
yeah, my whole family's in the medical field, so I'm like one of the few creatives. Hey, uh, but
Oh, unicorn.
right? So I said, okay, I'll have that stability of doing firefighting, and then I have my salon on the side of Brooklyn. That was my initial dream, to open one up in New York. And I'm like,
Okay.
okay, I join in, I could end up higher on the list, and then I'll be able to do both. It's my passion, but I kind of hid it a little bit. I kind of pushed it down. I didn't want it to make it look like it was like a big hoop dream. And then I was gonna be able to travel. So I was like, okay, the military will do just that and they'll pay for everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it. And I needed to get out of New York. I needed structure and the discipline that you get from being in the military. I don't I didn't feel at the time that I had that internal structure like automatically built in. I had that hustle and that grit, but structure, you also need that. So I knew that's what I needed in order to evolve into who I am today.
Yeah, because if you don't go to work, you go to jail. So
Pretty
that'll definitely
much.
provide that's going to provide you with some structure, most definitely.
I'm like,
So what were some things that you felt like, that you were able to take from the military that has really became beneficial to you now as a business owner, especially with expanding and just keeping structure? Like, what are some things that you were able to take from the military and you still use it till this day?
being in the military, it definitely sharpened my leadership skills. It created a great foundation with time management. Uh, being that we're in more of a combat environment, a high stress environment,
Yes.
I know that I was fully equipped, even though both careers were totally different. Being in a high stress environment now, when I'm working on someone's wedding, when we're working on set doing a photo shoot or a commercial, that's pretty high stress. It's millions of dollars on the line and we have to do things in a certain timeline. So
Yeah.
that really helped me and it taught me how to delegate. So I was able to develop those skills and I really honed into it once I joined the beauty industry.
Yeah, that's really good. I feel like a lot of times when we get out the military, the first thing people say, I don't think people realize how, what's the word that I'm looking for? Valuable
Mm,
the leadership skills are that we get. And people think like in order to get leadership skills from the military, you got to get out as a E9 or an officer. Like, girl, listen, I know E3s that was running burthens, baby.
yes. 100.
Okay? And it might be 50 girls. If you might be on what is it, damage control, and you got 10 other people, and if something happened to this ship, you're leading them.
Yeah,
Okay? And their lives are in your hand.
100%.
So leadership, I definitely feel like more people should broaden their horizon as it relates to seeing like, okay, how did it shape my leadership skills?
Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't have to be literal. It's really understanding, taking away those little nuggets that you were given. Um, I had few mentors while I was in the military, so it really teaches you how to speak to people. Not as hard as we were when it was in the Navy, but
Yeah,
because we were around in our division, it was like 50 men, 5 women.
yeah.
Only two of us were.
What was your job in the military? You were something in the
I
engineering
was a
department.
DC. I was
You
a
were
D.
a DC man?
Yes, shipboard firefighter.
Oh, baby, she ain't play. Okay,
DC.
that is
I
a
was on
male
flying
dominated rate.
squad. Flying squad. So yeah, first responder.
Yes.
How that switches over when I'm working with a high profile client, like we're first responder. If there's something out of place, we gotta run. Um, dealing with so many different personalities, like you said, you may deal with 50 women working in the birthing and learning how to speak to people, how to navigate. Everyone has their own personal thing that they're going through, and not everyone knows how to turn that off to work. So you have to be able
Yeah.
to be that example to show them how to navigate in the professional environment and how to speak to them in ways that they understand it and they can
Yes.
do the task at hand that you need them to do.
Okay, so let's pivot here. So when did, because you call hairdressing you didn't want it to be a hoop dream. So when did you finally realize, like, okay, girl, like you got some talent, like, so let's stop playing around with this and let's make it a thing?
Ooh, okay. So for those who knew me when I was on the boat, like I was doing hair on deployment. That's how I made my little change. I'm out now, so I don't think they could do anything about it. But I was not spending
Not
my
you
check.
making the
You hear
side, trying to side job on these people boat.
me? I was doing a side job. We had hair, nails, everything. And I had a shipmate, Heather. She gave me my first pair of shears. So those are scissors for hair. but we call them shears, and an apron that had like my little nickname on it. And she was the first white girl to let me do her hair. And she was like, listen, if you're gonna be out there in the big time, you gotta learn how to do my hair. And I said, thank you. So we were practicing in the birthing, and I would do everyone's hair at the time. We were sewing in the little tracks, gluing it in. And I said, okay, I have something there. And when I got out and I started taking my little house calls, because I started off as a kitchen stylist, right?
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Um, she really pushed me, and she was like, hey, I know you would love this school. Like, check out Aveda. And when I went online and I'm looking, I'm like, ooh, I want to like work on a runway with the Forever 21 music in the background. Like, I think I could do this. I think I could do this. And everyone's like, you got this. Like, you got that raw talent. Like, really push it. So it was just the encouragement of my friends and the people, who were giving me a couple dollars back in the days that pushed me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm I'm really happy to do this. I could do this and not get paid. I could do this in my sleep, and just
Yeah.
seeing the transformation and how it made people feel. Like, I said, okay, I have something in me that can really transform lives. I want to see how far I can go with it.
I know that's right. So
Hmm.
I want to get down to the nitty gritty because I feel like a lot of times when we hear these success stories, it's like they skip the part. They go from feeling motivated to just the success. Like, okay, bam, I had this moment of motivation, and then it just and then I worked hard, and then it happened. Okay, so walk us through the nitty gritty. Okay, so you got this feeling, you were able to start practicing. Did you automatically have in vision, have in mind, like, okay, I want to own my own shop one day? Or how did you work your way to becoming your own boss?
Mm. No, it was an instant success. It was years and years of failures.
Say that again.
It was years and years of failures, honey. Listen, lights turning off, okay? Phone turning off, not having money in to put in my tank for gas. Um, it was a lot of that. It was many sleepless nights, crying, wondering, did I make the right decision? Like, I'm used to this stability, and now I really have to push. Oh my gosh, like I burned somebody's hair off, or I cut it like lopsided or something. It's so many things that came in the way. And I'm sorry. I love y'all. Thank you for allowing me to practice on you. So I'm good now. Come back. No, I'm joking. But it was so much, and people like really doubting um my ability to go to the next level. So a lot of times I was about to throw in the hat, the throw in the towel, and it was my support system that really, really pushed me to do it. So yeah, it wasn't overnight.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next question. I think, people, you hear that, you have to go through failures, but when you're going through them, it really is a character defining moment when you don't quit.
100%.
Like
100.
it's especially when you're feeling like, okay, I might not be where I want to be yet, but then when you start like you said, like you messed up on some style sometimes, like to not take that and to internalize it. How did you not quit? What made you say, girl, just get up, just keep pushing?
Mhm.
Was it you talked about your support system? Was it those people in your corner like, okay, hey, you had a bad day, get up, chin up, chest out?
100%. 100%. At the time, I had some stylists that really pushed me. I was big on mentorship. Like, no matter what point in my life, I always made sure I had a mentor who was successful and at the place that I wanted to be.
Oh,
So
that's good.
yeah, in the military, I had that. Um, LSC Lewis, she's retired now, but yes, we met on my first command, and she was a major push for me throughout the years. MMC Turner, these women that I started off in my first command, they were the ones when I was testing out my product line, ALX Beauty Collection. um they were the ones trying out products, seeing, telling me what works, what didn't. And they motivated me in every stage of my life. um I started off at a salon just as a junior stylist. It was probably about 50 of us there. And then once I transitioned there, I went to my own studio. I was in a little 10 by 10 room. And then I was offered a position to manage a new salon, upcoming salon in Washington as well. And I did that for a while until 2020, when I decided, in the middle of the pandemic, I know that was crazy. I
Listen, that
wanted
pandemic gave us all type of hope. Like if I don't die, I'm gonna just do
Listen,
whatever I want to do.
listen. At that point, like, life is fleeting. I'm like, I have to do something, because when
Yes,
you put your all into someone's hands, your life, your livelihood, the pandemic showed you like that can go in an instant.
in an
So I
instant.
needed something where I knew the level of grit and hustle that I had in me. And I'm like, I'm not gonna stop. I had no choice but to
Yeah,
succeed. I had no physical relatives out here in Washington. So when you're faced with that, there's no stopping.
yeah, exactly, exactly. I 100% agree, and your resiliency just shines through. I remember, um, during the pandemic, watching like you documented you building your salon, you documented like being in there by yourself, painting the walls and putting in wash bowls. And I'm like, go, Linda, go, go, go. And it was really inspiring to see. What were some challenges that you faced while building your business? Because you said you started building this business during the pandemic, right? So what were some challenges that you faced while building it and overcoming them now? Is there anything different that you would have did during that process?
Mm. Okay. So, with me painting the salon, shout out to my dad. He had passed a couple years ago. But I'm grateful for him, because as a young girl, he taught me how to do all these handy skills. And I didn't have the full means to do it during the pandemic. And I just went back to when I used to, he bought me a little toolbox and I didn't want to use that. I'm like, no, I want the manly stuff with the paint chips still on it. And I remember that, and we built out the salon. Um, but the challenges during the pandemic, one, I wasn't sure what this was, right?
Yeah,
Everyone's like passing away, getting really, really sick. And I'm
literally.
like, okay, am I even gonna make it through it? Like, that was a real question that I asked myself.
Yeah.
And during that time, I had no job. Um, the salon I was managing at, they had to close down just with all the regulations going on.
Yeah.
So I took the skills my mom taught me from sewing. She was a seamstress back in Jamaica. And I was slinging masks. I would make them. I bought all these cute patterns, and I'm like,
That's
hey,
that
y'all want
Brooklyn.
these? See, I told you all them jobs worked out. And I started making masks, and I make it, and I had like one order from a hospital for 130 masks, and I stayed up for 24 hours and I made them. And I would drive around and people would purchase my mask, and though that gave me the money to really get the salon going. And I would do some people's hair. I would make sure I open up all the windows and 2 N95 mask on. I'm like, please just let me survive through this. But anything I was able to do, I did it in order to have the means to build that salon. Um, I wasn't sure what the environment or the economy was going to be. Like, were people going to come back? Were they going to feel comfortable sitting in there, having me shampoo their hair? How could I make this experience worthwhile and worth them coming back over and over during such a crazy time like in our world? So yeah.
Okay. And I wanna Alex, I wanna backtrack a little bit because I feel like you are a unicorn in your industry. A lot of black hairstylists, they don't do Caucasian or straight hair.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do it. Like it's either or, I feel like. And if you see somebody that look like you, they mostly do your texture of hair.
Mm-hmm.
So why was it important for you to learn how to do that? And now, and pivoting, I guess this is a two-part question. You learned how to pivot early on in the business, right? Like when the pandemic happened and you okay, when the pandemic happened and you end up having to start selling masks. Now at the level that you're at, what does pivoting look like for you now? So why was it important? So I guess the questions are, why was it important for you to learn how to do both grades of hair? And what does pivoting look like for you now that you're at the level that you are?
So when I first, for me, I've always said this, hair is hair. And when you look at my family, we look so different. We
Yeah.
have, it ranges from lighter skin to deeper skin. It ranges from kinky curly hair like myself to wavier hair. And when I work on my clients, I look at everyone as my family. Because when you have your family, right, like you love on them, you cater to them, you take care of them. And that's what it is for me. It was slightly a personal thing, and I said, okay, I want to be able to work on any person in my family. And when I took that and it went over to just my clientele, I was like, okay, why should I treat people differently because of the way for the hair that comes out of their heads, right?
Yeah.
And my bonus mom, she was actually my first instructor in beauty school. She's like, you're putting yourself in a box just doing one thing. And I'm like, you're right. Like I'm leaving money on the table.
No kizzy. So, of course, we all have different struggles, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. What were some challenges that you faced when you decided, okay, I'm going to go into the beauty industry? Was it any challenges that like kind of pushed you further or made you more like hesitant, or like just kind of paint that picture for during that time frame in your life?
Yeah, it was a combination of both. Like when I started off, I when I graduated Aveda, went to my first salon, and I was the only like self-identifying like black woman there. Um
Wow.
person. So, that was a challenge in itself, like dealing with that, introducing like a new set of clientele to them. So it was like a first because there was a certain aesthetic and I didn't fit that mold. And at the end of that journey, I was told that I don't fit in to like what they're looking for after being there for like 3 years. So I was like, I don't fit in. Like, I don't, like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And, I started like my first like little studio. It was like a little 10 by 10. And I was there for a while working in as an independent contractor now. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to build my brand. I'm going to be who I want to be. And working alongside other women, it was a great experience. And what was our first like really big hit, um we were renting from someone that totally mismanaged the finances and
Oh my gosh.
got a notification that we had 3 days to vacate. And I was just like, I was so dumbfounded. Like, I had no words because I didn't know what I was going to do at that point. I'm like, I have nowhere to put my clients. I have nowhere to go. How am I going to
Because you
get?
probably got clients booked.
Yes. Like, it was like my first, like, real feeling of having like a book schedule. And I'm like, I have nowhere to work. And it was just like going alongside that with other women, like, it really beat us down. And they had children, and I felt for them because it's like everyone's livelihood as well as their children is being just shaken up right now. And
Yes.
when then that's when I got the opportunity to manage the other salon, and they continue on, they like opened it up their own salon together, and I'm grateful for them. Shout outs to Cece and Sean. Like, those were the first set of women who really let me know, like, they're women in the industry who will, like, cheer me on and
Yeah.
like grow together. And when I managed the first salon, like, everything was good, and I really looked up to the manager there, and I'm like, all right, she has great business acumen. I can learn from this. So this is where
Mm-hmm.
that mentorship came into play. I said, okay, what can I learn from her? God, like, how can I make the most out of this from someone who is educated, who is successful? It may not be in a business, in a beauty industry, but she's proficient in business. So just a lot of late night talks with her. They knew the situation, and I'm like, okay, like, let's handle this differently. um and then I reached out to Kay Hairnista in Brooklyn, New York, and did classes with her, and she gave me like a lot of good insight. So she's been very much like a beam of support, like, over the years
Yes.
for me. And then when it was time to transition, that was around the time of the pandemic, and I was propositioned with an opportunity to go into business with someone, and I thought like prayers were being answered. I'm like, yes, I don't have to do this by myself. And when I tell you, that was the biggest lesson that I learned in my
Come
life.
on, listen.
That was the hardest one. I thought things were going good, but when you and another person are not aligned, uh,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, mentally, as well as business minded, a lot of things can go wrong.
Will go
So,
wrong.
yes, it can and will. And I did not have all of the tools. Like, I was just getting started with that mentorship aspect. But
Mm-hmm.
there were so many questions that I didn't answer because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And
You don't even know what to ask.
yeah, you don't know what to ask. So I'm just kind of going along with it. And we had some bumps in the road where our vision wasn't the same. Like, I'm like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
for the people, I'm for this, I'm for that. And that just, it wasn't working out. So that was a very hard relationship to navigate. And um I left, I went to New York, and when I came back and I saw the salon that we built together cleaned out, my heart sunk. And we were going through the legalities of separating. I'm like, okay, this is not going to work out. And when I saw that, when I saw the sign gone, everything, it literally took the breath out of me, out of my body. Cause I was like, where do I go? I literally
Yes.
was like, this is a dream come true. I left the military. I'm in the place I'm supposed to be. I'm in the business. Everyone's knowing who I am now, and I'm building a name for myself. And then this happens, and I call my client, and when I said, I got into a car accident, girl, and I had to make something up. And
Girl, not you lying to these people.
I lied. Listen, I lied. I was just trying to figure out a way to get her home. I was so scared for her to see what was
Yes.
happening behind the scenes, because sometimes, like, the issue, that the drama that you may go through, like, a lot of people are so attracted to that. And I'm
Yes.
like, I can't, this can't be my story. Like, this can't be the reason why what everyone hears about it. And I'm like, I was so focused on trying to rebuild a new life for myself that when this happened, I did not know what to do. And my sister and my business coach were on the phone like, no, do not, like, don't give up, don't give up. And I ain't listen. I didn't listen. So I made a post, and um another gentleman, he's great in business. He's known me since I was in beauty school. Jason Kendall, and I'm grateful for him. He was like, hey, what did she take? I'm like, everything, everything. And I just was like, I
The
had nothing,
bags, Jason.
everything.
Everything.
And he said, okay. He said, take that down. Do not let them get the glory. God will get the glory in this. Let people see God through your testimony. And 7 minutes later, he called me and said, one of my barbers are bringing a shampoo bowl for you. And then another stylist reached out, said I had a bowl. So I asked for one and I got two. And in 24 hours, less than 24 hours, I was able to run my salon back again. The
Oh
people
my God.
who purchased products from, they went and brought me a whole bunch of stuff. They said, listen, you've always been a great client. Here, take this, get going. Yeah, that's how I looked. That's how I looked with nothing. And I'm like, I'll pay you back. She said, no, get your salon going. Like, people love you. People are depending
You're
on.
not finna tell me God ain't real.
Listen, no one can tell me. I don't care what y'all say. You cannot tell me he's real because that's God. And everyone was like, get a GoFundMe. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. And it was that pride
Yeah.
I had and my ego. And I was just so worried about how it would look like, oh, she's asking for help. She needs this. And oh, she didn't set herself up. And some of my brides and people that I was even in the military with, I just saw the Zells and the Cash Apps coming through, just money, money, money. So one person sent me $2,500 and they said, get your salon back. And another one of my girlfriends, I haven't seen her since I left the military 8 years before that. And she said, get your salon back. And she put the anchor. And I was like, I haven't seen you in years. And it's people that I've seen all the time that didn't do anything. Not necessarily like I was
It wasn't you
like I was
expecting it, but
entitled.
but
Yeah.
but girl.
But somebody I served with, and she saw the direction I was trying to go, and she said, "Get your salon back." And when I saw that anchor, it made me so grateful that I was in the military because I wouldn't have met the many people, the beautiful friends, and the who are now family to me. Like I wouldn't have met them.
Yeah.
And in 2 months, I was able to get my salon back. No, that was 3 months because this happened January 3rd. I came back and saw the salon gutted. And April 22nd, we reopened. And I'm just so grateful because during that time, my clients were sitting on the floor. They did not care. They said, girl, take your time and we'll wait. And they just, oh, man, they were just so instrumental in me really moving forward. So that really almost broke me, especially when I put it out there and I saw the thousands of views because of that. And then when I rebuilt it, like you didn't see as much. And I'm just like, it was so discouraging at first. But then when I saw like the people who have my back, the brides I may have just met them one time
Yeah.
and they poured back into it. It's like, you want to be careful the way you treat people, the way you speak to people, because that could be the one thing that helps them to go another day. And because of my interactions with them, I was able to rebuild something that I thought I lost forever. I was
In a
going to
moment's time.
in a moment's time. All your dreams just went down the drain at that moment. And I'm just like, how God, how did I make such a bad decision? Like I thought I heard this, but that lesson then taught me to really get my business in line. So I'm grateful for that because if I didn't understand the holes that I had in contracts, if I didn't understand, oh, what to do if certain things fall through or you may not align with your business partner, if I didn't have someone to coach me, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have known how to build back up from that. So that's when it really pushed me to get a team of people who would support in growing the vision and building it. And it just taught me that much more when it came to business, and it pushed me when it came to perseverance. So you may have some pitfalls, but it's not the end all be all. Like there's more, you got to keep going. And when you know your purpose and why you're here and what you want to do, like that should fuel you even more. So
Yeah.
that was major. and even the past salons I was at, and I thought I was going to franchise their business. But God was like, no, that's not what I have for
That's not
you.
what I called you to
I have
do.
my own. So now I've been able to create a platform, create an opportunity where we create that sense of safety with other entrepreneurs and teach them the business part, the legal part, the importance of that mentorship. So I'm grateful. So anything that's ever happened, like, I'm thankful because I would not be here if I didn't go through those hurdles, if I didn't go through that. In the time I thought it was humiliating, or if it was a setback, but it set me up for a big and major comeback. I know how cliche that sounds, but is it real? For me, I just want to I want to service people. I want to love on
Yes,
their hair. um the dynamics of all different textures, it was interesting for me, and I just love the shape and the movement that you can create with all textures, whether it's curly, whether it's straight. And I'm like, why do I have to do one thing? And it was unheard of at the time, and I dealt with so
very.
much
Still to this
backlash.
day.
Still to this day,
Yeah,
they're like, oh, jack of all trades, master of none. But the other part is, but a jack of all trade, master of none. But a master, what? A jack of all trades is better than like a master of none or something like that. I gotta like look over
yeah.
it. But it's just better
And I
to.
just realized that that was like an insult.
It was. It was an insult at the time, but I was like, okay, in Washington, there's so many interracial couples. No one is
Yeah.
just one thing. And if I try to just pin everybody in one segment or one little box, when it's a little bit more dynamic than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not fair. I hated to be just boxed into like, oh, you're just this. Like, no, I'm more than one thing. And the thing that we all have in common is we have hair coming out of our heads. We are living human beings. We are women, where some are mothers, some are career women, and they want to be taken care of, like when it comes to like their health and their beauty. So um it wasn't a thing back then, but now there's such a need for it. So I'm glad that I stuck by that at the time that I did, because now it's like people are trying to learn those different techniques. And um even with starting the beauty collective, I wanted to make sure that no one feels excluded. Like, we're an exclusive brand, but we want to practice that inclusion. The what I didn't
Right.
coming out here and someone seeing my hair and saying, oh, you have too much hair, it's too curly, it's too tight, it's not professional. Like, why not?
Exactly. So how did you go about building a product line that could service all textures of hair?
Mm.
What was the motivation behind that?
The motivation behind it was, like I mentioned, walking into a salon and being told that it's too much, it's too difficult. And the feeling that I had, it's like someone just told me I'm not enough, or
Yeah.
I'm problematic because of the way that God made me.
Mhm.
That did something to me. And I said, I will do everything in my power to make to not be a thing moving forward with, whether it's women, whether it's men, whether it's young girls. Because growing up, I didn't love my hair. I was putting relaxers in I don't have a problem with relaxers. I do them as well, but it stemmed from a place of self-hate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And for me, encouraging to women and men and just young girls and boys to have a better relationship with their hair, I wanted to create a line, a product line, a hairline that supported that self love, that supported that pride in how we look, who we are,
Yeah.
but in the most healthiest of ways.
Yeah. And no matter what you look like,
Hmm.
no matter what you look like. So, let's get into this expansion, honey. Okay, because you're a household brand name. Okay, let's get into it. Don't it sound good, sis?
That do sound good. You heard that?
So, how did you begin to expand your brand? How did the doors start opening up to the big brand deals like Nike, like Google, like Olay as a hairstylist? How did you end up positioning yourself as a business, as a woman-owned business, as a Black woman-owned business at that, okay, to get into some of these rooms, to get into some of these deals?
Yes. Okay. Great question. It was after the pandemic, like a year after that, when everyone started coming back. When I tell you, people were just rushing in there. So we were just doing color corrections left
From
and right,
home
like
boxes.
crazy. Because everyone was doing like the box colors at home and just
Right.
going in their hair. And they came back and was like, "Fix it, Alex." And I'm like, "Me? Okay." So shivering in my boots in the back, but I came
Baby, we
back
finna
to the
put this
front.
train into use.
And I got it together and I went back and I said, okay, we can do this. In my head, I'm screaming though, but it's okay. But after that first year, after the pandemic and I saw the substantial growth, I was encouraged to get a business coach. And I said, okay, we're going to brand this and take this seriously. And I have my little logo. So when I got it professionally done, got a branding coach, we really just did a whole overhaul of everything. And she had me write up a business plan. I took some things that I wanted from beauty school and I said, okay, I had this plan. How have I evolved over the years? And what do I want to see in the future?
Yeah.
And when we ironed all of those details out and I rebranded, I realized who my target audience was and we just went for it. And I said, I want to be a household name. And for you to say that, like everything came into fruition. So,
Yes.
um, we just kept working on the smaller details. So it started off as like one person helping me out. I had business calls with her. Any little check that I got, I said, okay, I scheduled my time with her. Invest in a coach, everyone. Invest in a coach, business coach, and a mentor. You cannot do it by yourself. Because I had a lot of advice, whether it was financial or business advice from people who were just throwing things at me. And it was just all over the place. And that's
Yeah.
okay, but when I decided to take it seriously, she really helped me to organize everything and get the brand together. And then I worked throughout the years and I had some obstacles um while partnering with some people. And I think that's where discernment comes in. Learning who's on your side, who to work with, who is going in the right direction that you're trying to go in. Um but when I reopened, I actually got a call from Netflix to do Love is Blind. And they offered me something and I was like, I just opened up, like I can't do it. It just wasn't the amount that I wanted because
Yeah.
I was like, I gave my all into opening this
And
salon.
let's pause there. Y'all see how she denied something no matter the name because she knew her worth? She said, I needed more, and that's not what I wanted. That's not what I needed. Clock that
Listen
tea.
here, say your words. Yeah, I turned it down and I was like, is this a big mistake? Because I was like, oh, that would be nice to see my name on the credits. And we're in an era where clout is a thing.
It
You just
is
want a name call. And I'm like, well, clout doesn't pay my bills. When you
at
have your
all.
lights shut off, I don't care about clout, okay? I don't care
Can you
about following.
cash clout?
Can you cash clout? No, they said no. What they told you? Because it didn't happen. That's the Brooklyn in me. Like, no, it doesn't work. It's not feasible for me. Once again, I'm by myself out here, so I could not depend on that clout. So I turned it down, and I was telling my sister, she was like, "No, you're fine." And not even 3 weeks later, I they reached out to me, a production company reached out to me, and they said, a makeup artist referred you. So I've worked alongside her one time, and I also did her hair. And they wanted someone who worked on diverse clientele because they were running into the issue of someone who they either only do wigs, they only do natural hair, they only do straight hair. And they were like, "We heard you do everything." And I was like, "Well, yes, I do. Yes, I do." And at that point, I was so excited, and I called her and I was like, "Hey, they gave me a call. Like, I thought I had to submit something for this, but I was so engulfed in like what I was doing, I didn't even think like, oh, I could really make it on this level." But they
Yeah.
reached out to me and was like, "We heard you can do this." Like, and they called me, and that was the first big one, the commercial and photo shoot with Alicia Keys and Athleta. And that's
Y'all
when
heard her
it,
right. She said Alicia Keys.
period. No. Yeah, so we did that, and she's actually one of my board of directors now, Sable Desiree. We were internet friends for the longest. Like, I'm a girl's girl. So if I see
Yes,
somebody
you
doing
are.
great online, I'm here for it.
Yes.
And she assisted me on that job, and I had another one of my stylists. I only had one person in the salon with me. So they all came, and I just loved her work ethic. And after we did that first shoot, I was like, "You're it, girl. Like, you are
Yeah.
it. Like, you are talented." And our vibe just like, it just meshed so well. And I said, "We can really go somewhere with this." Like, she's worked on television and film, and to see the recognition that she gave me and her appreciation for what I was doing,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like, we can really build something from that. And then that's when the inception of the collective started, because I was like, wait, if they're noticing that, we can really take this far and give other people that.
Right.
Yeah. And then after that, the industry speaks. So once you do one job, then another production company called. It's like, "Hey, we heard you do different textures of hair. Let's have you come on." And that's how I was introduced to Nike. And I had to work on Michelle West, Shelly-Ann Frazier, Price, Anna Cockrell. So these are like big wigs
Big
in
names.
female sports.
Yeah.
So many women. I'm like, I am in the same room as these women, like, and to hear their story and to see where I'm at, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm doing your hair right now. Like, I just was like, okay, this is
What
where
was
I'm
that?
supposed.
What was those moments like?
Okay, so when you're starting off, you don't know everybody that you're doing, right?
Right.
Um, so when they start naming off the names, like, my eyes lit up. No lie, I went to the bathroom and I called my cousin. I was like, "Guess who I'm doing?" So I did like a silent scream, and I was like, "I can't believe this." And Shelly, I love her. Like, I'm Jamaican, so I'm like, wait, I'm really around her. Like,
Not trying to talking patois.
listen. So I went, and then I got it back together. I said, "Okay, be professional." And I went, and it was just so surreal. Like, it didn't feel real until like she like posted it, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is really happening right
I
now."
did that.
I did that. And it's just being me. Like, when I was playing like a little dance hall music, and they noticed it and they were vibing, I'm like, wait, these women are just like me. Like,
Yes.
they're in the spotlight, but they love the things that I love. And I'm like, okay, this is a commonality that I can appreciate. And it was just a great experience. Like, they just treated me with respect, and the calls kept coming. And 3 years later, like, I'm still here working with
Yes.
them. And then that's when I met Miss Richardson, little while after that. And that one, I was just like, okay, all right, let's, okay, this is really happening.
We have
Like,
arrived, baby. We
never
have
mind.
arrived.
So I was like, okay, don't fangirl, keep it cute, keep it cute. Okay. So, I had to,
Alex.
to keep it cute. I was like, okay, because she gonna think I'm weird and not call me back. So after that, just like seeing the smiles on their faces, and that's the same smile that I would get in the salon. So it
Yeah.
just was like a beautiful feeling to service these women who may not have the time to take care of themselves on the level and be catered to on that level, on a real level. um I wanted to transition that, not necessarily transition, but also to implement those tools that I learned while being in the salon and give that to them
Yeah.
maybe like a shorter amount of time.
Yeah. So, with all of the success that you have, God has blessed you with, how are you pouring back into the community with
Mhm.
all of the things that you've learned, all of the life lessons that you've learned, all the lessons that you've learned through, I don't even feel like they deserve to be called failures at this point, honey. All of the momentary stops. You know what I'm saying? How are you using those moments to kind of pour back into the community or into different mentorships for aspiring stylists?
um so that's when I touched on starting the collective.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
wanted to create an incubator for
Mm-hmm.
future business owners.
Mm-hmm.
We are a place, a safe space where you can train, you can be supported. Because some of the things that I didn't receive while coming up in the industry,
Yeah,
I wanted to give that to them. And I'm like, okay, if I had so many opportunities and have been blessed thus far, I can do that with the people that come alongside with me. And it wasn't a thing where we're like, oh, we need to have this name and this, like, who am I individually? I'm like, if we come together, do you know how powerful we can be? There's
yeah.
like I don't know why in the beauty industry there's so much competition. This is a $60 billion industry.
It's
There's
enough for
I don't have
everybody.
enough hands or time in the day to do $60 billion worth of people. So
Yeah,
we create a team, a force that can touch multiple people, multiple lives. Imagine how far we can go.
yeah,
And being able to do that, showing them my momentary, pit stops, um allowing them to see that, being vulnerable and say, hey, this is what I did before, it didn't work out. um I know this way is a better way, giving them a more educated guidance when it came, because
yeah,
for me it was just figuring it out. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna just put a shot in the dark. But allowing them to feel that support from early on, I wanted to give them the room to be creative and do
yeah,
that. Because most creatives, we don't really want to do the business part, right? So if they have that support of people, um, we have a full staff now of people working in the background. It will help them and to push them to be their best selves yet. So however long they stay, of course we want them to stay with us, but if they decide to transition into another level, I know that they'll be at a better place having that support from the beginning and not
yeah.
having to deal as much hardships as I've had to deal with, in the beginning of my career. So, doing that, we do a lot of give backs, back to school stuff. We do classes,
That's amazing.
and that really encouraged me also to wear my natural hair sometimes. Like, I'm here for the wigs and the weaves, but um showing my natural self to young women, young
Yes,
girls, that encourages them. Like, they see someone who is, as they say, successful, um look like this. Like, I want to
yes.
encourage them from their youth to be strong in who you are, have a
Hmm.
sense of self, have a sense of pride. And
Yeah,
whatever direction that you go in life, like, it's okay. People will love you for being yourself.
very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Because yes, the industry talks, but those words matter. So I'm pretty sure if you weren't confident, if you had a really bad attitude, those words would have traveled as well. And some
Mhm.
of those doors would probably not have opened for you, no matter how great your work is. I think that your super optimistic attitude paired with your work ethic, paired with your skill, paired with your contagious positivity has also been a reason why you have thrived, baby.
Thank you. No,
Thrive.
I'm grateful. It wasn't always like that. I used to feel
Yeah.
like I had to make myself small to blend in.
Mm.
And I want to tell anyone who's looking to start a business or a brand, don't ever minimize yourself. Be who you are. People know I'm loud, I'm extra. No, I'm not extra. I'm just enough. So know that
Mm-hmm.
you are just enough. You are all that. And people who are supposed to be in your life, they will be. They'll love you for exactly who you are. Because when you pretend, where you try to fit in this box of, oh, stylist should act like this, lawyer should act like this, a business owner should act like this, like it won't get you far.
No,
Authenticity is the biggest key to thriving in whatever that you do.
100%. So tell us what you give us before I do that. Give any female veteran, female active duty service member, entrepreneur, whoever you want to direct this one piece of advice to. Give us one gem to chew on from the Alexandra Victoria.
So people who are looking to start their own business are already in it.
Either or, whichever direction you want to go in with that
Okay.
question.
So I'll give a few if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So before exiting, have a plan, right? I didn't have a solid plan. I just knew what I wanted to do, but have that. Figure out what you're going to do to transition, how you're going to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um when you get people who are proficient in their skill set, if you are not the best at money, if you are not the best at marketing, find other talented individuals where you can share that space with. Find people who align with your purpose and believe in the vision that you have, and all of you help one another grow. There is no, you cannot be super successful without having a team of people around you who also believe in the vision. So make sure it's that. Have your why. Know why you are doing this and believe in it. And you say it to yourself every day until you make that happen. And when you do, create new goals for yourself. Um, for me, my faith has been the biggest thing. God has helped me throughout all my journey thus far. And I'm grateful because he has given me and empowered me with that sense of self to know who I am and why I'm doing this
Yes.
and how I need to impart in others, right? So if you have a team, know your purpose and make sure that you're also pouring back into them, because
Yes.
they, if you're helping them, they'll also help you and you'll just continue to grow. People believe in it. um and counseling, get counseling.
For real.
It
For
is
real.
not easy navigating into the civilian world,
Mhm.
and a lot of us, we may be stuck on, oh, I got the check the first and the 15th. um and when that changes, that shift can do something to you, right? Because you feel like that sense of stability kind of
It's
slipped from
gone.
under your
Yeah.
feet.
Mhm.
But how do you deal with that? How do you deal with going out on deployment for months at a time and then coming back and having to just navigate with different personalities,
Pick back
people?
up. Right.
It's a lot. So get counseling. Make sure that you're okay. Traumas that you've had, maybe from childhood, deal with that because it will pop up in business. You think it won't, but when you're dealing with different personalities, different obstacles, just your decision making, having a clear mind, a clear heart, that will help you to really thrive. So have a plan, stick to it, get some counseling, and pray to whoever you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what do you have coming up?
Whew. Lots of coming up. we'll see some on the big screen. We have some
Ooh.
things we can't talk about.
Oh, we like those secrets now. Those secrets means, baby, that's even more success, honey. We like
Yes.
secrets.
So, some big screen things are happening. We have ALX Beauty Collection. So we have our raw extensions. We have weft extensions, clip-ins, tape-ins, eye tips. So you can purchase that. Our line, ALX Beauty Hair Care line. Um, Lots more speaking engagements, pouring
Yes.
back into the community, lots of more travel. We've been blessed to have done Paris, Milan Fashion Week and gone to Paris. So I see a lot more traveling for our collective.
Yes.
Um, just a lot more of just travel, success, making more brides beautiful. We're looking to
Yes.
expand a lot more collaborations. So yeah, you'll see those brand deals show some things in the near future.
We
I'm
cannot
excited.
wait to see. Thank you so much. I just want to take this moment to give you your flowers. You are amazing. You are such an inspiration to all women, not young women, not women who are on. You are inspiration to all women, those that are already successful, those that are currently trying to get there. Your story is beautiful. You are such a beautiful soul and such a giving soul, y'all. I have known Alexandria for it's
Oh
I
my
ain't gonna
God.
tell y'all how long,
I
but
think we're
for
15 years.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm editing that out.
15 years. Girl, we
It's
aunties now. We the new
we are the
aunties.
aunties,
Oh my
baby.
God, yes. Ooh,
Baby,
yeah.
we is auntie them.
Aunties now. This our era.
Listen, but you have always been such a sweet and amazing and just giving soul, and I'm so happy for you. And happy Women's Month. Happy Women's
Yes.
History Month. Okay. So
Happy.
this has been another successful episode of the Six Figure Vet podcast, where we showcase the success stories of Black and Brown veterans who have successfully unlaced the boots. The Six Figure Vet is out. Hey y'all, it's a Six Figure Vet here. If you or any other active duty service member or veteran that you know is suffering with suicidal ideation, substance use, or mental health disorders, please tell them to call 988. The number is 988. They're trained crisis responders waiting to take their calls. You don't have to suffer in silence.
Quantum Records.